Time now for the Educated Retirement Show with your host, Jay Kaplan. Jay discusses reverse mortgages and can answer your questions at 951-922-3532. Call lines are open at 951-922-3532. And now, here's Jay.
Well, good afternoon, and welcome to the Educated Retirement Radio here on KMET 1490 AM, where we contemplate retirement and how to best prepare for that retirement and how to best stay successfully retired. Let's be thankful. We have friends, and let's keep talking to them. That's the way I've been opening the show. The last time I was on the show, and as you know, I've been gone a couple of months or thereabouts, and I am so happy to have you listeners, and thank you so very much for sticking with this show while I've been on the sidelines. You are very, very so much appreciated, and so is Sean, for our engineer, for taking care of all of that while I was gone. And I hope you enjoyed our guest hosts on those occasions that they were helping us on. I really missed you, and I missed the activity of doing this show, and I'm really happy I'm here now. Now, I know I'm old, and I am expected, as an old guy, to speak about health problems, but I am not going to do that except to say that what happened to me was nothing to do with COVID-19. So we are all afraid of the pandemic one way or another, some more than others. But you never know when something will come out of left field to knock you down. So be on your guard and stay healthy. Now, me, I think if I had different eating habits for the last 50 years, this may not have happened to me. But it did. So, getting back to some business, please call, email, or visit www.drheckham.com. That's drhecm.com. Or for you longer-winded people like myself, the educatedretirementradio.com. Or email me. It's so easy just to email me. bestloantoday@gmail.com. bestloantoday@gmail.com. And take a look at the website that drheckham.com or the other, and slide about halfway down the front page, and you'll see the YouTube channel. That YouTube channel, although it's delayed a few days because I have to get I have to do some editing. All of the shows are on there, including shortened snippets from it, and there are some of those with just the great guests that I have on, so they don't have to listen to me talk about movies and jokes and music unless you want to. So there's a lot there also on the site that has a lot to do with reverse mortgages, and the blog has a lot to do with generally what's happening right now with the economy, with economics, with everything else that you may find. I think you'll find very helpful. So remember, call me anytime, 866-955-2233, 866-955-2233. Why? Because knowledge is power. Remember, when it comes to the Heckham or reverse, know the facts. Compare the numbers. It's much too important an issue to ignore, and you certainly don't want to eliminate it based on not fully understanding it. Remember that equity availability programs, such like the ones we're talking about, is not a religion, it's not math, it's not a belief system. The flexibility, it's just math with much more flexibility than just that. And I want to point out, I have a beard right now. I think, if you remember, I never did used to have one. But since I was on my butt, my back, let's say, for a couple of months, I really didn't have any choice until just lately when my wife went out and got a kit, a hair cutting, because my hair was like, who's that guy? Oh, who's that guy that fell asleep for 100 years? Rip Van Winkle, yeah. So anyway, and the beard was kind of like that too. Not quite Santa Claus-ish, but all white. Anyway, So we kind of sliced it up and did our best to make it look kind of good, kind of presentable. And now I'm wondering whether I should keep it or not. I am personally thinking no, because it is all white. The rest of me is all white, and I think my skin, as pale as I am, has more color than the beard. So I'm going to leave it for a couple more, maybe another week or two, and we'll see. It's not easier. I still had to shave before the show because of, the other parts of it. But I tell you what, call in and tell me what you think. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, use the phone number, that's right behind me here, which is 866-955-2233. You just leave your name, your address, and the answer to the question. I don't need to know anything else about you. That phone number does not capture your phone number. I will never call you. I will never email you back unless you actually ask me to. But I do need that information to send you let's say a $50 gift certificate to Starbucks. Now, let's not make it the first person, because everybody thinks that they're going to miss being the first, and therefore nobody ever calls. I know those kind of things. The second person that calls, and I will not be answering it because why? I'm on the radio right now. Just leave that. Just tell me, yeah, my wife is saying thumbs up or thumbs down. And those people who have a mortgage are asking for forbearance. Those with a HELOC are seeing those HELOCs frozen, and new ones are not even available. The heck of home equity conversion mortgage and other reverse products are available with or without a line of credit, and those lines of credits can never be canceled or frozen. Forbearance is a non-issue in those cases, but you can always make payments or interest-only payments of any amount. Now let's just call any reverse an intelligent retirement forbearance loan. And my day job is at the Loan Source as a loan officer, NMLS 384-565, Department of Real Estate, 792630. And here on this show, we believe in challenging the status quo. Today is National Eat an Oreo Day. I think you saw me eat one a couple of months ago. I don't need to eat anymore. I actually lost, I said it, 40 pounds in the last couple of months. So I can't wait to get back to those Oreos. It is National Martini Day, and it's also Friday, so let's get at it. National Pets in Film Day. So let's remember Lassie, Toto from Wizard of Oz, Asta from The Thin Man, and my favorite, Frank the Pug in Men in Black, and of course, Cujo. Now, I'm running a little late, so I got pictures of some of those. If we have some time, I will get to those right after the break. So let me pull over to the side here and let Sean take over, and we'll be back in a minute. Hate to interrupt that music again, but I know we're running a little long. So I'm back, and welcome back to the Educational Retirement Radio here on your home planet, 1490 KMAT AM Radio, the Mighty Met. Don't forget, 866-955-2233. And we've got the contest going about my beard. Now, we were running a little late, so I'm going to keep pushing things back as we go. Here is, I don't know if you can see that picture. It's pretty dark, but that's Frank the Pug, who did that singing in Men in Black 2. And of course, Cujo, who is, of course, another part of our doggy history. So, because of that, other birthdays. Oh, those weren't birthdays, but that's okay. Birthdays on this day. May Whitty. Now, that may not be a household word, but May Whitty was born in 1865, earned her wings in 1948, and she was a British film and stage star, including starring in the Hitchcock classic film of The Lady Vanishes as Miss Froy. Now here is a laser disc, okay? And here is a little one, and great film. Anyway, that's one of those films that we here at the house watch over and over because we really consider the characters personal friends. And of course, I also love it because because I am a train freak, as you probably realized by now. But it also stars Michael Redgrave and Margaret Lockwood, and it is the first appearance of Charters and Caldecott. Those are a pair played by Naughton Wayne and Basil Radford. They were used simply for some kind of comic relief, very British type comic relief, and proved so popular that the duo appeared in several subsequent films, including another one of our favorites that we watch over and over, Dead of Night. I haven't found it many are online, but here is Dead of Night in the Laserdisc version. Now, what's important about Dead of Night, even though it is a really good movie, and we do watch it again over and over. Speaking of Dead of Night, have you seen Vast of Night on Amazon? I highly recommend it. Anyway, and Vast of Night does remind you of Twilight Zone, and I'm going to bring up now, in Dead of Night, they had some stories that were used several other times. One was a thing where there's room for one more, Dolly, or something like that, or Dearie. It was in a hospital down, and this woman took the elevator and went all the way down to the morgue. She didn't know it was the morgue, and at the door there was somebody there saying room for one more, and that came directly from Dead at Night. And also remember the ventriloquist one, where the ventriloquist seemed like it was alive. We don't know for sure, but that turned also into a movie called Magic, and it was also part of the Twilight Zone. But then again, Dead of Night, seek it out if you can. Kathleen Turner was also born on this day in 1954. Body Heat, of course, still my favorite. Romancing the Stone was 1984. Body Heat was 1981. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, 1988. And I think I said something on a show before this, how important it was for me. I love downtown LA. I was going there forever since I was a little boy. The Los Angeles Theater is always one of the most beautiful theaters I had ever seen, but I've never been in the area where they show movies. And for a while, it was completely closed, but now it's up and running, at least for special events. And I went there with a very close friend of mine last year to see Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So what could be better than see Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is kind of a history of Los Angeles and the freeways, in that theater. So it was amazing. Also, last one for this day, a man named Donald Keyhole, which may also not be a household name, although it is here in this household. And a naval aviator he was, and an author. He wrote several books on UFOs and the like. What do we got here? This book I'm going to show you, Flying Saucers from Outer Space. This is an original, you know what, I'm not going to open it. It's the original printing, and it cost probably more than we should have paid, but at least we did. It also has an inscription in it back in the early 50s from one person to another, but it was also the basis for a movie called Earth versus the Flying Saucers, which, hey, there it is. It was actually this was colorized with the okay of Ray Harryhausen, who said he always wished it was in color to begin with, because colorization I don't always go for. I love black and white film because they knew it was black and white, and they did it that way to make it, the shadows and everything else. Anyway, this film was animated by Ray Harryhausen, and it was very, very loosely based on, in fact, almost nothing at all. He also wrote a lot of aviation articles and stories in many leading publications of the day, including, that's right, Weird Tales. Now, this is not a Weird Tales magazine. This is just a book or a volume that brought a lot of different authors together that had published that to begin with. Anyway, and then later he became a manager of the promotional tours of aviation pioneers, especially Charles Lindbergh. So, with that, let's take another break, and we'll see you very soon. Thanks again so much for being there. Sean, take over, and see you in a minute. Welcome back to the Educated Retirement Radio here on your favorite station, 1490 KMET AM radio. And I really, once more, again, I've got to thank everybody for sticking with me and sticking with the show while I was going through what I was going through. And I still have probably 2 more months before I'm going to be completely out of this, but I think most of that time I should be like a normal person. Well, all right, I know what you're going to say when I call myself normal. You can stop laughing. But in this uncertainty, and I mean all of us have an uncertainty in this time, we need to stabilize our environment. That's right. We need to stabilize our environment, meaning it is time to empower our retirement for now and for the future. So remember, uncertainty needs to be out. Peace of mind and something you can count on always being there for you, that should be in. And of course, I'm making a reference to Heckham's and other reverse mortgages. Wasn't Tom Markle great in the last part of the show last week talking about that? Okay, we're going to wrap up this time. We have our famous guest from NASA Nellie, and she just flew in a rocket to help us with the show here. I don't know whether she's going to show herself or not. You know how she is. But she's going to let us know a little bit about the truth behind the Phoenix Lights. So take it away, Nellie.
Today in history is about the Phoenix Lights. This refers to a series of UFO sightings in the skies over Arizona, New Mexico, and the Mexican state of Sonora on March 13, 1997. It was seen by thousands of people. They were steady lights in the sky in a V shape, larger than any known aircraft, with the sound of rushing wind and blocking out the starshine in the night sky. After a huge wave of reports from all over, the governor of Arizona, Fife Symington, on this day, June 19th, addressed this event at a very famous press conference. He said he knew who was responsible for the sightings and invited a staff member to join him on stage. This associate was dressed in full costume like an extraterrestrial, flight suit and all. After a roar of laughter in the crowd, the staff member removed his mask, and the governor then explained his prank as all in fun. Not everyone thought of it that way. The Phoenix City Councilwoman, Frances Barwood, then launched her own notable investigation and interviewed more than 700 witnesses. Not one was interviewed by the U.S. government, as they insisted the lights were flares. Crazy, huh? Now, what is interesting is that years later, that same governor admitted that he himself had later witnessed the same Phoenix Lights and said, "I'm a pilot and know just about every machine that flies. This was bigger than any flying machine I have ever seen. It was dramatic and couldn't have been flares because it was too symmetrical. Who knows where they came from?" As a side note, the very first person to report the Phoenix Lights was actor, civil pilot, and former Musketeer Kurt Russell, of all people. He was flying into Arizona when he saw 6 lights over the airport in absolute uniform in a V shape and reported it to authorities. Little did he know he was going to be a part of one of the most famous UFO sightings in the 90s.
Okay. Where's my notes? I was trying to... Anyway. Thank you, NASA Nelly. Was it exactly this date or the?
That was his press conference.
Okay, this is the date of his press conference.
It was a big deal.
Which turned out to be a big deal, and it went different ways. But he is. If you ever watch any of the UFO shows, I can't believe Ancient Aliens has been on for 10 years. But anyway, we can talk about that another time. Please don't go away because we're going to be right back, and I'm going to sign off. I thought I'd be stepping in with just trying to do at least a half a show, and then the second half is going to be taken over by one of our great repeat offenders who's been on the show several times. He's going to guest host. That's Randy Clarito from One Heart Caregivers. He's going to talk about care because that's on everybody's mind right now. And he's also going to be talking a little bit about franchising with one of their franchisees, I believe. And, talking about investing in people looking for something to do when they have otherwise gone to retirement. So he will introduce his guest when we come back. So let me say just one more time, what a pleasure it's been to be back here again. And thank you all so much. Thank you, Sean. Thank you so much, all the listeners out there. And please stay tuned because Randy Clarito and his guest talking about healthcare, etc., will be back very, very soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Randy Clarito, your guest host for this afternoon, second part. And this is the Educated Retirement Radio here on KMET 1490 AM. The show where we contemplate on retirement and how best to prepare for it and stay happy and safe retired. So especially this COVID pandemic time, we have our relevant topic and resource person from a healthcare industry. I would like to welcome our guest from One Heart, Beverly Hills and Santa Monica, Managing Director, Cameron Gasri. Why don't you introduce yourself, Cameron? And, tell us about the communities in your communities and areas you've served for many years.
Hi. My name is Cameron Gasri. As Randy mentioned, I am the first One Heart franchise owner. I run in Los Angeles. I run West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, West LA, Malibu, Pacific Palisades area. I started in 2015. And what was the rest of the question?
I get, the communities you serve, and just for the information of our group here, listeners, how many years have you been the top performer for One Heart, Cameron?
Since day one.
And you were the best student in Business Academy class?
Yes. Since we were the first one anyway. Yeah.
All right. So a couple of questions for you, so for the benefit of the listeners.
Yes.
So what made you decide to go into the home care business?
Let me step back a little. I was in printing business. Okay. Actually, it was a franchise printing. My parents were getting old, so I was in DC area. I sold that printing business. I moved here at the end of 2009, 2010, just to be close to my parents. I started another printing business here in LA. Printing, the nature of the business has changed
Correct.
dramatically, and I was looking for another opportunity. As I was observing my parents, especially my dad, and the type of needs he was requiring, so I thought this must be it. I mean, this must be the business of
Right.
the future and what can serve the community the best. So then I met you, of course. We discussed this, and then that's how I ended up in the senior care business. I think
And
it's like a very important necessity for, as people get older, this is something very essential.
yeah, I'm glad you mentioned about the experience from your dad and your mom. So, what are the challenges of caring for seniors, and what are the fulfillment you feel for many years? You've served Beverly Hills, Pacific Palisades, and Malibu area. I've seen you, so you've got served many, and also you've got some clients who've done reverse mortgage. So we can share that to our listeners so that they'll be able to be educated.
The challenges are a lot, honestly. I mean, it's not just like sitting behind your desk and the business runs. So the challenges are a lot. So you have to first, the state laws you have to follow, and then the caregivers, the legality, the laws regarding the caregivers. You have to be very observant, and then the most important, you have to maintain your relationship with the senior facilities, the rehab facilities, the hospitals. So the challenges are a lot. But at the same time, there is a lot of fulfillment. You really get a sense of satisfaction when you feel this senior is staying home and he's safe. He's able to maintain his hygiene. Somebody's giving him a shower every morning. His meals are prepared. So this is an extraordinary, fulfilling accomplishment that you do. So, when you feel somebody's safe at home or being taken care of.
And you provided so many jobs to the local caregivers within your area. So that's
Yes, of course, yes.
It's a big
Yeah, of course.
contribution to the local community. But with the most recent situation right now, how has COVID affected your business operations, and how did you keep your seniors safe and caregivers safe and protected?
So that's another big challenge that we have been facing. The problem is not the seniors, who are most of them staying home anyway. They're not exposed. So the challenge is make sure the caregivers are not being exposed. So we are bombarding them with information. How often they have to wash their face, hands. Sorry, we are providing them with face masks, gloves. We are providing them any training that there is, and we are encouraging them to get tested at least twice a week. I know some caregivers, they are getting tested once a week or every 10 days. I myself get tested every 2 weeks. So we pay them for the testing time. So we are encouraging them to get tested. Just make sure. If somebody says that he or she has a slight fever, headache, signs of being sick, we just ask them to stay home, just to make sure they don't go to the client, so there is limited contact. So we are constantly monitoring the caregivers, make sure they have been tested, they're negative, and they just being safe.
I guess that's very important. It helps reduce the fear, not only of the family members, but the seniors themselves, even the caregivers. So, over the years, our healthcare industry is defective. It focuses on illness.
Yes.
So one hard focus on wellness.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Conducted some brain fitness education, aerobics, brain exercises. Can you share to us what you've done relative to wellness activities in your areas that you serve?
Oh, we do talks for them for the senior facilities, or for example, like Malibu Senior Center. We talk to them about fall prevention,
Okay,
about nutrition, how to keep healthy,
right.
seminars about neurobics, how memory care, things like that. Yes, we do on a regular basis.
And
We do
even
have
with your
talks.
even with your busy schedule, I think you've done some volunteer work in the senior community, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, less now, more before. Yes, yes. So time to time I do volunteer work, of course.
Are these some of the things that you consider how different you are from other home care companies, or are there other things?
Yes, very much. More you're in touch with the seniors. Of course, makes a difference. Yes, I mean, as I said, it's not like an office job. Yes, you have to be involved in the community. That's right.
And you've done a couple of caregiver university training for the
Yeah,
caregiver, now
yeah,
online training, which is
yes.
very good. Um, how do you look at your One Heart business in the coming years? Any plans of serving other communities?
There are always plans.
Okay.
There are always plans. Yes. So we are thinking, talking to the home office, maybe expanding to Newport Beach area, southern parts of
Okay.
Orange County, because
All
of
right.
the number of seniors. Yes, of course, there are always plans and talks.
But do you think you can advise some seniors for those who cannot fund their home care business through a reverse mortgage? Have you?
That's what we always suggest to them. Yes, because a lot of seniors, of course, obviously, they don't want to be at the senior home. They want to
Mm,
stay at home, and
yeah.
they have to be able to afford it, of course.
Yes.
So this is what we suggest. We have gone through this process with a couple of our clients that they couldn't afford, they needed extra cash. So they did, we guide them through the reverse mortgage process, and now they are able to afford the services and have caregivers.
Yeah, that's good because in our end we have recommended some seniors because this show is the educated retirement, and I guess one of the best resource expert for reverse mortgage is Jay Kaplan.
Yes,
So people can reach to Jay Kaplan for this. So you think this is one? Yeah, I know because 80 to 90% of seniors wanted to retire in their home.
of course. Yes, yes. Not many people want to live in a senior home. Yes, that's obvious, and that's the only way. I mean, that's the, to have a reverse mortgage and have enough funds to be able to afford the care.
Yes, and so what are your advice for those? With the pandemic, there
Yeah.
are businesses that are unable to operate. There are other businesses that have really suffered because of this. So, what are your advice for some who would want to go into business?
So first, let me tell you, for us, it's been a little reverse. This pandemic, it made a lot of families aware of the risk of keeping their parents at
Uh,
senior assisted living facilities. So they are bringing them home and ask us to provide caregiver at home.
oh,
So this aspect, because the risks are very high staying at a senior home. So this has been, so for people who want to get into business, they have to study and ready for them for the challenge. But it's a very fulfilling business, honestly. I mean, as I told you, it just makes you feel very good helping senior citizens.
yeah, the Home Care Association and other home care breakthrough groups are really predicting a tsunami of senior cases.
Yes,
So, do you see it coming in your
yes.
own territory?
We are already experiencing it. Yes,
Oh,
we are
okay.
experiencing it. Yes.
I guess one of the reasons for this, Cameron, is right now there's have so much anxiety and stress with the
Yes.
seniors. So they have fear, depression, loneliness. So cognitive disorder is increasing right now.
Yes. The
And
solution is having a companionship. Yes. I mean,
okay,
staying home alone, shelter in place, is very stressful, and I've seen some seniors, they suffering from depression.
Correct.
Yes, so having a companionship at home is the best solution, I guess.
Yeah, and one of the things that is really hard to see now is some family members are delaying. I know some seniors are delaying the transfer to the senior living facilities until these things will improve, until vaccines are going to be out.
Yes,
So
so the
you're
pandemic be over.
you're
Yes,
going to be seeing your office, Beverly Hills office, busy in the coming months. So
yes.
how would you prepare for this?
To have enough caregivers prepared, trained, and ready to work. That's what we are constantly doing every day.
So
So
even with this pandemic, you still see a lot of caregivers able to have that
yes,
commitment, dedication to
yes,
the
yes,
senior.
yes. But you have to constantly monitor them, make sure they've tested and they are prepared. Yes.
So what are the other monitoring tools that you do? How to make sure that your seniors are improving? I understand you have your reports to the family members,
Oh yes, 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 yes.
life, or what is that?
We use a software called Quality of Life. So
Okay.
so the caregivers report to us. So we put the data in a software. So like the eating habits, the
Okay.
sleeping habits, the ambulation, every activity of the day. So we put it in a software. Yeah, so we produce a report to the family members and the home health aid company and the hospice company and
Ah.
sometimes the doctor. So yes, they do get a very detailed report.
Yeah, I've seen some of the reports that you said were appreciated by the doctors.
Yeah, of course, yes, that's essential because the doctor's not there 24 hours a day. So only our caregivers are there. So the doctors cannot, see how much food they eat, how many steps a day they walk. So it's only our caregivers can report these activities, not the
Yeah,
doctor.
and the family members, even if they are in New York, will be able to monitor the progress through that
Yes,
report.
yes, of course, yeah. It
So-
gives them peace of mind. It's not just like a verbal report, like a written. It's a very detailed by numbers report. Yes,
Yeah, I know it's a computerized report with graphs. And
yes.
how often do you give that to the family member?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. Okay. So but do you think because of this you were able to help out in the seniors' wellness, improve lifestyle, and even
Of course. Even
longevity?
yeah, of course. Yes. Of course, definitely. Yes, I'm sure. Yes, more observation, more better decision making. Of course, it helps the quality of life. Yes, it does.
Okay. Because it also prevents fall. Because if you're monitoring the physical health,
Yes.
you can prevent the fall.
Yes, of course. Fall prevention is our main job. Is our main duty. To make sure the seniors do not fall. So that's one of the main functions that our caregivers do. Fall prevention is.
And I think some of the nurses and case managers would love to see this report because this helps prevent hospital readmission, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes. So when we mention this to them, so it's like a peace of mind. It's an assurance that this senior is not coming back to hospital anymore.
Oh,
If
so how do you,
this person is under our care.
yeah, because other home care companies would just send caregivers and then they stop and then that's all. But
That's
how
all,
do you
yes.
do it differently? Do you have some
Yes,
care
something.
manager that handles the case?
Each client has a dedicated client care manager who
Oh,
oversees the care. So it's not that we just send the caregiver on his or her own, and maybe time to time we check the report. So we have client care managers who oversee the care. They communicate with the caregiver, sometimes in the middle of the night, and also they communicate with the client directly or with the family members. So they constantly in communication about the care. Yes. So it's not just only the caregiver. It's a team who does the caregiving process.
and you think that's a big one for the family members to appreciate and reduce their
Yes.
fear?
Yes. Yes. They know anytime anything they need, they can, they can contact and or they can access to the information.
And how would you like, because you're with a printing business. Now you see people recognizing you as an elder care advisor in your
Yes,
community.
it's a
How do you
big job.
like how do you like hearing that from some of and from us? Because I've seen you talk to some of the clients. How
Yeah.
do you feel like recognized elder care advisor now?
It's a big jump, but that's part of your. It becomes part of you, part of your character. Just being providing care for the senior, so it becomes part of you after a while. Yes, I know, but it's a big jump, honestly. But you get used to it.
Yeah, I know but it may not be an easy start for some, but I guess with you for many years, you're able to fulfill your commitment to the family members.
Yes.
And transitioning from the printing business to the home care, do you have any regrets in your life,
No, no,
Kamran?
no, none at all. No, no. Why should I? No, no, none
Okay.
at all. No.
And then you said you were the first one, the franchisee. How do you find the support from the corporate office, head office?
Enormous, of course. Without the support of the home office, I couldn't do it.
Okay.
What I've achieved so far. Yes, I mean, without the support, it could be it's impossible, to function. I had no idea. I had no knowledge about senior care. So, so without the support of still today, with our outreach, so we depend on them.
And now I see some of the One Heart group comes to you for some advice and ask questions about how things are going, right?
That's flattering. Yes, yes.
Yeah, and I don't see your trophies behind you uh, and plaque of appreciation. So, and do you think the senior care business will still be there for the next couple of years, or how long do you think it's going to be there strongly?
For as long as there are seniors, and as long as they need care, which they definitely do, then this essential business going to be around, of course.
So there are some listeners out there, Cameron, who are thinking about retirement. This is a educated retirement show. So do you think even after early retirement or retirement, they can still do the business for themselves?
Yes, definitely. Yes. Yes.
Because I guess you are able to hire some professional managers within your group,
Yes.
able to help you.
Early retirement, you can do it yourself. Of course, you can do it. Yes. And of course, you have to rely on professional people for assistance. Yes.
Right. And yes, so I'd like to give some positive quotes and positive advice to. So for the listeners, I would like you to say, when you close your eyes and imagine the best version of you possible. That's who you really are. Let go of any part of you that doesn't believe it. I guess Cameron here is a testimony that if you believe or you cannot, either way you're right. So at the start, I guess you have believed in yourself that
Yes.
whatever you go into, you'll be able to. And you have a mother who's a senior right now. So,
Yes. She's late 70s. Yes, you're right.
So, but you're now more into a good, as an elder care advisor, good advisor to your mom?
Of course, yes, I know. Yes. Yes, always. Always.
So, tell us again what are the other places that you serve, so that our listeners will be able to know, and how fast do you serve your clients when they call you? How fast can you provide your caregiver?
Okay. So again, we serve West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, West LA, Pacific Palisades, Malibu, and I mentioned Santa Monica. How fast it depends. We have been able to provide caregiver right away, like within less than an hour.
Oh,
Of course, yes. But these are emergency cases, as you can imagine. But we are not only our aim is not only to be fast, but our aim is to provide the right caregiver, like to be
Yeah.
the best matchmaker.
Correct.
Provide caregivers based on what the client needs. So this is, besides being fast, at the same time you have to be able to provide the right caregiver. So this is the other thing. This is another aim.
So those that are going to be discharged immediately in hospitals and skilled nursing facilities, you'll be
Yes.
able to help out.
Yes,
Right.
we have experienced that. Yes, we have that. Yes, we are able to provide caregiver. Yes.
So what are the cases do you handle? What various cases? Alzheimer's, dementia?
Alzheimer a lot, dementia a lot, hip surgery, foot surgery, heart conditions, people with G tubes, with different types of cancer, throat cancers. Yes, these are the main courses. Yes, but dementia, Alzheimer, hip surgery are very common.
Okay. So before we lose you, we're going to have some couple of more minutes left. Why don't you provide your contact number? So you said 1 hour, 2 hours, you should be able to help. Provide our listeners your contact number and office.
Okay. My phone number is 323-456-8645, and my email address is Kamran, my first name, KAMRAN.G@oneheartcares.com. I always say, remember, one is not spelled out. It's number one. So it's Kamran.G@oneheartcares.com.
That's the numerical 1.
Yes.
And the
I'll be
website.
happy to answer any question anybody wants to contact.
So what if they just want some questions? Is that okay just to call you?
Anytime. Yes.
But do you give free evaluation to the seniors?
Yes, free evaluation. Yes, always. Yes.
So when they call you, you can provide the free evaluation and it's up to them to be able to make a decision.
Yeah, of course. Always. Yes. Yeah, I always consult. And I always tell, people, even if, you want to move to an assisted living facility, I'd be happy to provide you with information or ask me any question if I can answer.
All right. So I'd like to thank you, Kamran, for this time. And I know you've helped many family members and the seniors in the community. But I'd like to take this opportunity to invite our listeners also to our One Heart Franchise Masterclass webinar on next week, June 25 at 1 p.m. Pacific time. It's in our website, oneheartfranchise.com. And you'll be able to see the benefits of having a One Heart business like our esteemed guest, Kamran Gasri from Beverly Hills. He is sitting in his home right now. And your office is in Beverly Hills?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So they can check out also your website and
of course, yes.
Their information. So again, we'd like to thank you, Kamran, and
thank you for the time.
Live longer to help more seniors and stay safe and well during this pandemic.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very
all
much.
Listeners. Thank you, Sean, Jay, and again.
All right. Goodbye,
Thank
everybody. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Educated Retirement Show with Jay Kaplan. Tune in every Friday at 3 p.m. to learn more about your mortgage and reverse mortgages.